各位听众朋友，大家好，欢迎再次收听史麦微Show之 Podcast。今天呢，也是我们的大来宾 Hazie。我们今天聊什么？可以 say
hi。Hi, welcome back to Smile in.
Yeah, very welcome back. 好，我们这一集要来聊一聊教育 education system in Taiwan or in Korea, in India, in Japan. Okay.
UK of course.
UK of course, yeah, for sure. Okay. 好，那我们就不啰嗦，把时间交给我们的 Hazie talk about education differences. Yeah, in different countries. At least the country you've been to, right? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess first I can say, when I was a student growing up in the UK, we start school at 8:30 a.m. and go home at 3:30 p.m. And when I went home at 3:30 p.m., I would run home because I want to get home quickly and watch TV or play games or talk to my friends online or play with my sisters. But Taiwan is very different, right?
Yeah.
Some of my friends told me they go to school 6 or 7 a.m. and then they finish school 5, 6, 7 p.m. and they go to cram school and then another cram school and another cram school. And in Korea, even more intense. They also doing swimming or some musical instruments and
talent class.
Many things. And I think these activities are not an issue themselves. In the UK, I also did many things: swimming class, dancing class, flute class. But I didn't feel the pressure. I didn't feel like my day is very intense. Like I found in Taiwan, many of my friends told me when they were children, they feel pressure and they feel it's very intense and they're being pushed along a path. Whereas in the UK, I feel like most children, they follow their hobbies. They say, oh, swimming is my hobby, so I do swimming. Not because my parents force me or something like this. And the environment is less around the parents' decision of your future, but more about your natural skills. So maybe my natural skill is talking to people and solving problems. So I naturally went down this route to become psychologist, computer engineer, traveler. So that's my natural skill set. But in Taiwan and India and Japan and Korea, a lot of parents expect their children to be a doctor or a lawyer or engineer. When maybe that is not the natural skills of that child or that person. And I think that's okay. Everybody has their natural skill set. And the UK is much more aware of this, not only from the parents and teachers, but also in the way of teaching.
Yeah.
I think they're aware of different styles of learning, different styles of teaching. Not to say it's perfect. There's many problems still. But yeah, I think the overall point here is a sense of pressure. I notice in Taiwan and Korea and India, there's a lot more pressure.
Yeah, we call it 升学主义. Yeah, go to a better junior high school, senior high school, college, university, graduate school. It's all about education. It seems education can determine your life, your future. Do you believe so?
It could be. I see the Confucius culture, right? All about education and learning.
Yeah. There's good Chinese saying, 万般皆下品，唯有读书高. Yeah, which means if you are well educated, you got more choices, for sure. But if you only have an elementary degree, junior high school degree, something like that, you don't have that many choices, options, for some reason.
Interesting. I think from my perspective, maybe as a Westerner, I do see the value of education, of course, and the Confucius idea that you're always learning, right? But what I personally think, and maybe many Westerners would also think, is education is not only from a school system.
Oh, yeah.
Not only from an institution.
That's right.
Learning comes from playing outside in nature. You can learn from the trees. You can learn from making mistakes. You can learn from talking to a friend. You can learn from doing a podcast with someone. You can learn everything you do. It's an opportunity for learning. If your mind is open to learning.
I cannot agree with you more. Exactly.
So a lot of the things, another point of the difference in education system between Asia and West, I guess, to divide it, UK versus Japan or something. But maybe another difference I've noticed is the education system over here in Asia seems to be focused around memorization. Here's the content, here's the vocabulary, here's the facts, here's the mathematical equation, memorize it, learn it, and just have it in your mind. Whereas in the West, it's more about questioning. They want you to ask questions and practice, practical. It's very difficult sometimes to be given not very much information and then told, solve this problem, solve this science problem. But it makes you start from the problem and work to find a solution. And this is a skill you need for life. Whereas if you're just given, we say spoon-fed, all the information, when you get to the real world, maybe you can't solve small problems like with your friends or with a business or in the workplace. But yeah, I think there's a difference there in the style of teaching. It's more about learning to solve a problem.
So that's why a lot of people say, many kids are spoiled because their parents take care of everything in their daily life, all the necessities. Because what their parents only care is about their grade, schooling stuff. You just concentrate on your studies, and mom will take care of the rest of your life. Don't worry about money. You will live, everything. I offer you, don't worry. Just get good grade. Go to better,
the
best. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. So I think somehow the value of education is perhaps a little bit lost there. Maybe the real learning is not only from getting a high grade, but also from the experience of failure and the experience of trying your best and from working with others. Not only from going to many schools and being the best in the class.
Have you heard a story, a very famous one also I heard from one of my professors. He said, a boy got a doctorate degree already in the US. His parents were invited to join his graduation ceremony, right? And by the right moment, his parents just landed on the airport. Also the right moment, he jumped off the building, killed himself. Yeah, so now I have fulfilled, I realize what you need. Your dream, not mine. Now I'm going to make my own decision to end my life. Because he would think, right after I graduate from school, I get a degree. You still want me to be a doctor? It's not my life. That's your life.
Yeah.
You think I belong to you, my life. Okay, what am I going to do in my own life? And what about my own desire?
Yeah, a lot of parents perhaps project their own wishes onto a child. And I can empathize. I can see they believe out of their good intentions that this will be a good life for the child. But in modern society, maybe that has changed. Yeah. Maybe we don't need to. We can't all be doctors, right?
Yeah, for sure. They did it always. Parents always say, "I did this for you, for good."
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. Like one of my daughters, she only got 6 marks in this math test. I'm fine with that. So her classmates envy her so much. That's my dad or my mom. He or she got to push me to, force me to go to cram school for math. Blah, blah, blah. But I said, no, I respect you. Even if you don't want to go to the math class in cram school, I'll be fine.
She'll find a way.
Yeah, she'll find a way. I never worry about my kids' future. They will find their own way out. Don't worry about it. As long as you're happy and you don't do something illegal, immoral, something like that, just behave. And then you will have your own lifestyle and you will make the way out for your living. Never worry about that.
Yeah, that's admirable and important and not so common in Taiwan.
I know. Even my mom say that. Oh, I really, seldom see people like you as a parent. That's me.
Good.
Yeah, that's my always. If you expect others, the higher you expect from them, the lower. The more disappointments you get. So expect yourself, not others. And you can make yourself happy. Everybody's happy about that. You just need to be responsible for your own life. That's it.
Yeah, I think the best thing you can do for children is to make them curious. Encourage their curiosity and encourage their problem-solving skills, teamwork skills, and interest in life. And then everything else will naturally follow.
One thing that we had to talk about in a vegetarian restaurant, because I asked you how many sisters you have, right?
Yeah.
Siblings. You got 2 sisters. And what about them? What do they do? Yeah, and you told me stay home and surf in the internet, blah, blah, blah. Since you cannot allow, you don't want to allow them to keep doing something like this because that's you. You used to be like them, right? Homebody, something like that. And so, but your parents say, no, that's okay. Just let them be themselves. Blah, blah, blah.
Their own pace.
Yeah. So now it changed. You no longer just control, just manage their own life.
I guess I never tried to control, but I tried to inspire them and try to help them. But now I see maybe they don't need help. They're just on their own path, and it's different to mine. They like to stay in one place or have a simple lifestyle. That's their style. It's very different to me. So maybe it surprised me or it's confusing to me. But I respect it. I respect that they have a different.
Just because you change already.
But maybe also the key point, which I didn't mention, is I think one of my sisters has a very negative view of the world. She thinks the world is always judging her. She thinks the outside world is too big and too unfair. She has no chance. Things like this. And I want to say, yeah, the world is unfair. It is difficult. But it doesn't mean you can just stay at home and avoid it forever. You can't. There's a quote I heard. It's something like, you can't just stare at your wound forever. If you're hurt, you can't just look at it forever. Sometimes you're going to stitch it up or try to recover and move forward. You can't just look at the problem and live like this. So
let go.
Yeah. So I've tried, and I will still try to encourage how I can, but in her own time, in her own space.
I think you just show her you are a role model to her.
Try my best. Maybe she doesn't want to travel and do adventurous things like me, but I hope she can see that there's a place for her in this world.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's right.
You can find it. You have to find it yourself. It won't come to your door and knock on and say, let me take you to the place you want to go.
Proactive.
You have to take step by step.
Exactly.
To get wherever it is you want. I learned that also by myself.
Good for you and your sister. Yeah, people have their own way, just like I say. Even he or she's kind of toxic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I try not to get along with those who are always toxic or negative toward an attitude toward our road. But somehow they are our families. They are our family members. It's unavoidable.
That's part of our own journey to deal with these people and conflicts. Don't let it weigh you down.
Oh yeah.
It's just another part of.
Is that also the way that you want to travel around, stay away from your family, something like that?
Not really.
Not exactly.
Not really. I keep in touch with my family.
Okay.
Not so much my sisters. They're just quiet people. But when I go home, I'll live at my parents' house very happily. It's fine. We get along very well.
Okay.
No problems.
That's good. That's your own choice, not because of family issues. Okay. All right. 那我们一开始就聊到教育在台湾、印度、韩国跟日本。那我们 Hazie 她的感受是觉得，像在 India or Korea, right? Korea more intense, right?
Yeah.
对，他说 both Taiwan and Korea.
And all four. More intense than the UK.
Okay. Oh yeah, compared with UK, right? 好，他就讲 Hazie 就说，像他在 UK 的教育，8点半 in the morning, right? Go to school and 3:30 go home. You cannot wait. Yeah. 他在那个韩国那个他国家 UK 8点半上课，3点半下午下课，冲回家开始要玩，对不对？吃啊休息。但是他在台湾或是在韩国啊、印度啊、日本这4个国家，我们的升学主义好大，都很早要上课，然后很晚下课，下完课又赶去补习班。即便是才艺课，他觉得是为了要多元化的升学。但是对他们来说，对 Hazie 他们来说，他们学这些才艺都是因为他们的 hobby 兴趣 ，not for 升学主义 ，not for education，not for go to the better school，right？More choices, right? 那他们就是纯粹是为了他们的兴趣去学这些东西，而不是说为了要升学的目的去有那叫什么学习历程 ？Yeah, they have a records for their learning. And what do you have? If you want to apply yourself for different majors in different college or university, you need to start recruiting your learning process. Yeah, 那所以就跟 UK 的那种制度就不太一样。那所以说呢，他就觉得说。他感觉在我们这4个国家，台湾、日本、南韩跟那个印度，孩子真的很不快乐，过得很不快乐，对，都是为了升学，然后都是在要满足父母亲的期待，而不是自己的期待，而觉得小朋友蛮可怜的哦，而且觉得我们都活在一个蛮有压力的一个，史麦自己本身也是，所以我也跟Hazie提到说，我自己对我孩子的教育是属于无为而治，不是放任式啊，但是他如果不喜欢，我就不会强迫他去花钱花时间，然后亲子关系又搞得不是那么快乐。对，所以我就分享一个例子给Hazie听，我对我自己的孩子的要求，他们要上大学上大学，要去高职就高职，要高中就高中，我都不去强迫他们 ，all right， 所以他就可以感受到说，在那个这些国家，我们韩国、日本、台湾跟印度，他会觉得亲子之间的那种关系就不是那么的融洽。So how do you feel the relationship between the parents and the kids, as you say? It's kind of, you can feel the tense.
Oh, in Taiwan?
Yeah, or 4 countries. Because education. Parents expect their kids to, go to better college, receive better education. Something like
Japan is also, after a child reaches university, it seems like it's okay. The pressure stops.
Okay.
But I feel it in Taiwan, Korea, and India, the pressure continues. And I didn't feel pressure from my family ever. And I didn't really see it around me. So I can notice this. And one thing I can say about Taiwan is, out of all the countries I visited, not just these 4 countries, but I've also visited many countries in Europe and even Morocco and Vietnam, many countries. But Taiwan is the country where I met the most friends similar age to me, and they don't have a good relationship with the parents because of this pressure. Lingering, I could say resentment. They feel, even now, 20 to 40 years old in this window, they feel like their whole childhood they spent for their parents, following the expectations and under pressure, control. So maybe they still talk to their parents, but they don't feel a healthy emotional connection because of this pressure. And I've not seen that in any other country.
How do you sense that? You only live in Taiwan for a year. Would you like to share with us? How can you feel? How can you sense that strongly? Because from your saying, from your sharing, wow, that's amazing. Because you're a foreigner and you live in Taiwan only for a year. But how can you so specifically describe the relationship between parents and the kids?
Yeah, maybe because I'm naturally a psychologist type. I like to choose topics I talk to people. And when I talk about family, or especially parents, and first maybe I will share about my own experiences. And when people share this, I realize there's a lot of small trauma from parents. I can sense it by the connection now where people are more avoidant to meet parents. Where in the West, we're like, yes, I can't wait to meet my mom this weekend. It would be nice to catch up. But from Taiwanese friends, it's more like, oh no, I have to meet my mom this weekend. I have to do this for my mom. But in the UK, I feel more like people are very welcome to, they look forward to meet their family. But in Taiwan, for the first time, I've met people who cut contact with their relatives, or they're very reluctant and don't want to meet their family. And then I ask more, why is this? Tell me about your childhood. And they say, oh, my mom made me study standing up so that I won't sleep while I studied. Or if I don't get top of the class, they will beat me. And I was so shocked because, of course, I never experienced or witnessed this in other countries. So from talking to friends of various ages, I could sense there's a lot of pressure. And most of them are very at peace. They don't hold a grudge. They're not angry about this. They accept this as their life, but they don't have a close connection. They can't build that because their childhood was not robbed, but influenced heavily by this pressure and control.
It seems the bond between the parents and the kids is strong, but it's unhealthy.
Yeah, unhealthy.
I like the parents, the relationship between parents and kids in UK. You guys treat each other like friends, right?
Not all families, but the healthy families will be much more balanced. Like me and my mom, we messaging every day, sending photos, sharing openly. I think this is healthy, natural connection.
Unconsciously, we gradually enter into another topic in this big topic, interpersonal relationship. So I believe in any relationship, we need to respect one another. He is not yours, she's not yours. No matter is your spouse, your husband, your wife, your parents, your kids, your brothers, siblings, your friends. No one is yours. You are. You are you, and he is he. We need to respect. Yeah, I offer you everything through your growth. But it doesn't mean you belong to me. You have to listen to me in everything. As long as you behave, you don't break the laws, you behave yourself, you're not doing something wrong. Why? Just let you be yourself. Be yourself. That's good for you. As a human being, that's the basic fundamental rights.
Like you said, you can only be a role model.
Yeah.
You can't control like chess or video games. Life is not.
But parents in Taiwan, they like to control, dominate their life.
And like I mentioned, I don't think this is from bad intentions. They genuinely believe this will make a better life. But it's difficult.
That's what you think.
From their own past, right? Their own trauma, from their own parents. It repeats and repeats. But then we can break the cycle by having awareness and, like you say, with understanding and decision to step back and let people follow their own path.
That's what I've been doing in my class.
Admirable.
Really, not just my own family. In my school.
Yeah, I can see it.
I also strongly encourage parents or kids. Even I know I cannot do, too more to get involved in their family issue, but at least the kids come over here. I'll try to not convince them, but be friends with them and let them know, you can have another way to interact with your parents. But at least, obviously, physically, you cannot change anything, but mentally,
that's the first
psychologically, that's right. You can change your mind, your attitude. Now I know you have no choice. You need your parents' support, sponsor, financially, However, try to be obedient, but not 100%. You still can have your choice. You cannot compromise with them or communicate with them. And at the same time, I always like to say on the table. But as long as you don't want to break the relationship, but it's hard for you to maintain the relationship. So how can you make adjustments for the current situation? That's kind of trying of your wisdom. But you're learning. Everybody's learning. I'm learning how to be a father for kids, especially in their different phases of life. Kindergarten, elementary, high school, and my oldest daughter is an adult now. So I'm still learning. Even they are already parents. Their own kids are grandpa. I still need to learn. Don't get involved too much. Just try to be their friend. You want me to give you some advice or suggestions. Even you want get some money, want me to sponsor you. We will see. I can be a partner in any investment, but we will see. We can discuss. That's the chance. That's the opportunity. You can get closer to one another. The point is we want to solve the problem. We don't want to make problems or like a troublemaker. Yeah. Absolutely. Maybe in the next time, in the next episode, we'd like to talk about. That's also the topic we talked about in a Cajun meeting last Saturday. Are you a peacemaker or troublemaker, something like that? Introverted, extroverted, optimistic, pessimistic. But there's different. There's no extremely white or black. No. There's a gray zone over there. Be flexible. Don't go extremely. Yeah, that's it. 那我刚刚跟那个Hazie聊一聊我们这个谈教育，然后不知不觉进入到我们人际关系。那提到台湾的教育，基本上他真的是他感受最深的是台湾的父母亲对孩子的要求，真的是都希望孩子能够照他们安排的路走，没有错，这都是为你好，为你好。以我们过去的经验，你读这个科系，你升学哪一个学校，学哪一个技能，对你来说是最好。但是他们从来没有真正尊重孩子他们的选择，可能有的时候你又不懂，你年轻啊，又要 too young to know that， 对不对？就跟我听我讲就对了。但是他还是忘记了，他还是有他自己的选择，所以导致到后面，Hazie就提到。在日本的话，孩子上了大学 ，once the kids go to college or university， 基本上他们的父母亲就不再管了，不给他们 pressure 压力了。但是如果在 Korea、India、Taiwan，especially in Taiwan，especially in Taiwan， 在印度、韩国或台湾，孩子他真的叫父母亲要管孩子管一辈子，哪怕他已经出社会工作了、结婚生子了，他还是要去大力的介入，尤其是在台湾。我就问那个Hazie，你在台湾才待1年而已，为什么有那么深的感受？台湾人一直受到父母亲的，能说苦毒吗？还是什么？就是影响那么大、那么深，父母亲都还是不放手，一直要介入干预孩子的生活，哪怕是婚姻。那其实我心里在听Hazie的分享的同时，我已经默默的在100%、1000%，那100%、1000%，agree with you. You can perceive very accurately what has been happening in Taiwan, the society, the culture, relationship between parents and kids. 所以我就很佩服那个对Hazie也提到，他也算是一个心理学家 psychologist， 所以他有这种 strong insight 那个Hazie有这么强大的洞察力，他可以知道这个人的 intention 或者这个人的磁场是怎么样，所以他可以很 be aware, highly aware， 所以他可以知道说，哇，真的是台湾人在这种亲子之间的关系，实在是有很大的那一种压力跟冲突 conflicts between the generations, right?OK， 这是以上我们从 education system 聊到 interpersonal relationship， 所以最后我也跟Hazie说，其实不管在什么关系，夫妻之间、亲子之间、朋友之间、手足之间，其实不过是我过去在节目常说的2个字：尊重 （respect）。Can guarantee you any relationship lasts longer and healthy.
And communication.
Communication. What if the parents their communication just try to convince you?
That's true. It
mutual respect. 对，因为那个Hazie有说要常沟通了，但是我跟他说，在台湾跟你父母亲沟通，说真的，他父母亲跟你的沟通只是要说服你，不是真的在沟通。你还没跟他开始沟通，你要跟他聊什么事，事实上他心里已经有个底了。你就是这么做，就是那么做。你要跟我讲什么 solution idea 没有用。I have my own idea. No matter what do you want to communicate with me, I have my stereotype. Just follow what I arrange for you. A lot of parents, or most parents in Taiwan, they do this the same way. 对，所以当然我们Hazie在是 UK， 他们有他们的思想文化，父母亲大部分比较健康的家庭，都是把孩子当朋友来去教育，而不是当作是一个他可以控制的，他的小孩属于他的，所以他们会比较健康的互动。不然就是像Hazie说的，他听到他的朋友说，我必须要跟我父母亲见面，而不是像Hazie说，我很期待跟我父母亲见面，我很开心准备跟我的父母亲见面，因为台湾的小孩要跟父母亲见面，好像都有压力。They have been under pressure to meet their parents, to see their parents, or even at their table, they would like to talk about, are you still single? You want to get married? You can take your girlfriend or boyfriend home to visit us. You're not gonna plan for your marriage or something like that. What about your business? What about career? Whenever we get back together to get together with our elder or relatives, they would like to ask this, ask that. Nosy, right? That's one of my foreign friends told me that. Yeah. 所以可能Hazie 他不像我们这种东方的文化，他就觉得没有什么不可以沟通啊。但是因为他的父母亲 ，your parents can respect you， 他的父母亲会去尊重他们。那如果相对于他们的父母亲，都会想要比较dominant，想要主导，想要控制，不管小孩子说什么，反正还是像父母亲说了算的。所以基本上孩子就能够不跟父母亲聊太多，就不要聊，对，否则他们要介入去管东管西，这个我完全可以体会。所以最后我也跟Hazie聊到说，即便像史麦自己也是一个4个小孩的父亲，但是我还是一直在学习，直到我结束我的生命。只要我的孩子还在，哪怕我已经当阿公了，如果我的孩子有结婚有生小孩 ，I'm a grandfather. I'm still learning how to be a father of kids, having their own kids. Yeah. 所以不同阶段不同角色 different identity. I still need to learn how to play the role well. 我还是要去学习把那个角色扮演好。总之一句，都是要不断的学习，谦卑学习，然后不同人生阶段我们有不同的责任跟任务去完成。那总之我觉得只要你holding a humble attitude toward learning, I think you'll be fine with your entire life. 我想你的人生不会有什么太大问题。最后 anything that you want to add to Hazie?
I think there's many more things we can say, but we can save it.
Okay, for the next episodes. All right. 好，那Hazie说了，我们还有很多话题可以聊，甚至我们都已经定完了。下次要聊什么？但是下次可能就是等到Hazie那个回到台湾来，因为这一集录完，基本上他就准备要在2个礼拜 in 2 weeks, yeah, Hazie is leaving Taiwan. 那 for like a 4 months to 6 months. 然后 she has no idea for the next step. But when she comes back to Taiwan, I'll definitely invite her to record an episode. Yeah. 对了，我们还有已经承诺好，刚刚去那个茶行跟那个 Mr. Chen， 因为我跟茶行的老板说，我刚刚带了那个Hazie去吃素食，然后他说还有一家更more fancy, restaurant, vegetarian restaurant。我说好，没问题。当下我就跟Hazie说，老板他们说有一家更棒的素食餐厅。我说好，那个Hazie，下次 you fly back to Taiwan and you pay a visit to Smile, all right? I will drive you and Mr. Chen's couple to the fancy restaurant. Okay, it's on my own. And then Mr. Chen said, no, it's on my own. 我说没关系 as long as everybody's happy. 我们就互相想要请人家吃饭。所以台湾人真的也是很热情的，这也是我们Hazie来到台湾也感受到我们台湾人的热情 ，hospitality, right? Yeah. 好，那节目的最后呢，虽然很不舍，这一集录完可能我们也不知道什么时候Hazie会回来台湾，但是他也跟我们说回来就会来拜访史麦，然后我们也一定会来再录那个 podcast。那我们期待 ，we expect the next arrival of Hazie's. Okay, anything that you want to say to our listeners before you say goodbye? Fly back to your country, UK.
Just do your best.
Any wishes
Follow
to
your
them?
path. That's all.
尽力。
Everyone follows their own.
Okay, alright. 我想我们Hazie还是有很多想跟大家分享，然后我也请大家帮我们留言说一些祝福的话，当自己
Stay curious.
Stay on， 保持那个好奇心，对 ，explore your life。
Yeah, exactly.
然后他也很鼓励我们去 travel。
That is what life is for.
Yeah，
learn and explore. Whatever your path is, learn and explore.
最后一 part last part because in car Hazie asked me, Smile, you have never really been abroad? I said no, never. But do you think Smile is in like of international perspective or view? 然后Hazie说 no， 他觉得我的视野还是蛮开拓的，而且他本来也认为我去国外念过书，但是他说没有，我甚至连绿岛 Green Island、Oki Island。Where? Machu Picchu 我都说我没有去过，只有去东港那个小琉球。Have you been there? 小琉球
Not yet.
Maybe in the future. Yeah. 对啊，我说我国小6年级 when I was 12 years old, I've been there once. Then never. 旗津 is off 台湾来。所以我跟他说我是一个从来没有出过国的人，他觉得他很难自信，但是至少 I have a very open-minded heart. My view is kind of wide. 就是 I can accept anything into my life. I welcome. 我欢迎各种人事物来到我的生命当中，即便我都在台湾没有出国过，也教了大概30年的英文了，但是我还是让我们 keep my mind open, keep my eyes open, and keep just like you say curious. Yeah, curiosity. 好，再怎么不舍，我们还是要说再见。Let's say goodbye to our listeners, Hazie. Bye bye.
Thank you. 谢谢. See you next time.
Okay, bye bye.